Hello.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Kathryn.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm very well. How about yourself?
Good, thank you. Thanks for taking the time today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Tell me, I wanted to go back a little bit.
Okay.
So, this for you would be going back a ways, because you started getting involved in, was it musical theater when you were 9?
I was 9 years old, yeah.
So
Yeah.
how did that come about at such a young age? Were you always Burlington?
No, at the time I was in Oakville. I pretty much grew up in Oakville. I moved there when I was 3 years old. But the way that I got into Les Mis was actually for a Cub Scout badge.
Oh, okay.
Right. My father was a Cub Scout leader, and he told me that if I had auditioned for Les Mis, then I could get a troubadour's badge, which I think they've changed the name to like a performer's badge or something.
Okay.
And so I thought about it, and I went, yeah, okay. And I did the audition, and I wound up getting the role.
Okay. So you yourself didn't have an interest in doing this? Like you were singing as a child, you know what I mean? Like for family?
Well, I did. I was in the school choir. So I had done some singing and so on, but no, I basically just fell into the business completely by accident. I did the audition for Les Mis and wound up getting it, and so I played Gavroche. I was one of the original cast members of the first Canadian production of Les Mis in Toronto, directed by Richard J. Alexander, and did that for a while, and the next thing you know, I got an agent very quickly, and just started doing television and film.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you consistently did like throughout, I guess, your teens, because you did the Paperboy when you were how old? Were you 14 or 16?
I was 14 when I did that.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I went right through, I was extremely busy right up till probably around 16, 17. I would put myself as one of the top child actors in Toronto at that time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did the Paperboy. I did Techmore movies with William Shatner. Guest appearances on Street Legal. I was a regular on Road to Avonlea. A whole bunch of stuff. And plus, of course, I had done a lot of television commercials and so on, and I had done quite a bit of music there. I remember I did all kinds of singing for TVO series such as À la Clairefontaine, where I did a lot of... that's how I got into UDA, actually, because you needed 30 credits at that point. I did a lot of the songs for À la Clairefontaine, and I sang on TVO fundraisers, and I did other musical theater as well, like A Christmas Carol. I did Oliver at Theatre Aquarius. I played the Artful Dodger.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good. I got rave reviews in that one. Opening night, they basically said that I stole the show, and then a few days later, my voice started to change because I was 13 years old.
So you literally didn't have any training. If you cut every, as you say, fell into. The only training you had was was it a school choir, church choir?
I wouldn't really consider that training. Now, for the audition for Les Mis, my mother was a school teacher, so she got me, involved with some of her peers, the music teachers and so on, who gave me some instructions. But no, I would say that I'm not trained. I never studied any formal singing training or anything, any vocal training.
Really?
Yeah, it just came naturally.
That's pretty interesting. So then, how did you segue from? I guess you didn't segue if you started in musical theater, but how did you go from acting into music, or why did you decide to pursue music?
I've always loved music. Ever since I was very young, I would write songs on the piano and so on. And I did take some piano lessons for a bit, but I wound up actually changing to guitar because I had some disagreements with my piano teacher. I remember the decisive moment was when I learned how to play When the Saints Go Marching In. And I played it for her, and she said, no, it's not at all like that. And so she corrected me, and I said, well, yeah, but that sucks. And she was like, well, yeah, but you're adding style. And I went, oh, I get it. So you don't want me to add any style. I can't play it so it sounds good. Okay. And that's when I picked up the guitar and, took a few guitar lessons, but mostly just cut my teeth by playing in a band in high school. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular. It was just a bunch of friends and myself, and my brother was the drummer, and we would play like local coffee houses and got the crowd going. I remember all the crowd surfing and everything, which was really great. Yeah, I've been playing guitar ever since I was like 15 years old.
Okay.
I actually got my first guitar when I was quite a bit younger, but I didn't really get seriously into learning how to play guitar until I was about 15.
Okay.
And that was around the time when the grunge movement was really coming into play, like Nirvana and that type of stuff. And I didn't really like that style of music until I learned how to play a power chord and threw some distortion on the guitar, and I was like, oh yeah, man.
So I thought I read somewhere that your inspiration, like Salt, Nirvana, Weezer.
Absolutely.
A bit of dance, which is interesting.
Yeah, I like dance music because it's it's upbeat. It's mostly written in like a major key. It's uplifting. I love Alice DJ. That type of stuff. Which I think the producers from Alice DJ went on and did stuff like the Venga Boys and so on. It's upbeat. It's illuminating. It's like, yeah, I like to mix some of that stuff in there too. I'm very eclectic when it comes to musical styles. I love playing blues. I love playing grunge. But I'm a big fan of dance music as well. Like if I want to get anything done around the house, I throw on dance music.
Okay.
The dishes aren't getting done unless I put on some dance music, right?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah.
What are you doing with your music now? So you've just released, is it just the one song?
The one original song is the one that I've just released, yeah. Yeah, I just finished the video for that. And I plan on putting out some more music.
Okay, good.
But yeah, that's my plan in 2020 is to sit down and do some recording because I have a lot of stuff written. It's just a matter of actually, cutting an album, right?
Okay. And how would you describe this new music that you're planning to put out in 2020? Is it still more rock with a bit of dance, or like is that your style you're gonna kind of stick to?
Once again, I'm pretty eclectic. I definitely there's a rock and roll element to it. I mean, I would say rocky, post grungy. But also there's some blues elements to some of the songs. There's some jazz or big band type elements to some of the songs. But yeah, I think the glue that holds everything together would be like the grunge rock and roll,
Okay. And what about inspiration? Are we moving?
Oh my gosh! In terms of my own personal music, like my biggest influences, definitely Veruca Salt is up there. Weezer, but the earlier Weezer, like not the newer sort of bland, crappy stuff that they put out. Like Buddy Holly and Undone the Sweater Song, that type of stuff. I would say with some of the songs that I've written, there's even like a real 90s, almost like a Marcy's Playground. Like there's some very, how could I put it? Some of the songs sound very 1990s, like you almost wouldn't really want to fit them into nowadays sort of style. But then other ones are just really, really hard-hitting rock songs.
Okay. Now, is it just you, or do you have a band? Like, how's that working?
Currently, it's just me. I'm doing it. I lay down all the instruments. I lay down all the tracks. You know, I'm kind of doing like Dave Grohl. You know, after he left Nirvana, when he started Foo Fighters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I would like to put together a band. I would like to do some touring and stuff eventually, but at the moment, it works really well for me to lay everything down because I'm a bit of a control freak.
Okay.
You know, that way I get the sound I want. I've been doing all the audio engineering myself, all of the recording myself. So, you know, basically I just chip away at her until I get the sound that I want, and put some video to it. You know, that's another big aspect of what I'm doing right now is doing the video, and you know, fortunately I've learned how to do visual effects, and I think I get some pretty good results.
Okay. So like a full album type thing, or just more releasing singles in the new year?
Well, you know, I'm definitely going to be releasing singles, and a lot of that has to do with the environment, the music environment currently, because streaming has become the big way of ingesting music. And when it comes to streaming services, Spotify is definitely number one. And they've really, the way that they've set themselves up, they really encourage artists releasing singles as opposed to releasing full albums. So I'll probably record like a full album, and then I'll release it single, and then another single, and then another single, until eventually I release the whole album but as singles, right?
When do you hope to be doing that?
Well, I plan on releasing my first single within the first quarter.
Oh, cool.
Of 2020, yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. I would like to have the whole album recorded, so that I can start scheduling with Spotify my different release dates for the singles. But definitely, I will have a single out by the end of the first quarter of 2020.
And what's that single about? Like, can you tell me a bit about it?
Well, it's a very hard-hitting rock song as well. It's quite similar to SOB, but maybe not as vulgar. Have you heard SOB?
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. That's actually a funny song, because I didn't sit down and write that song, eh?
You did not?
No, it just popped into my head.
Okay.
and in fact, it took me a long time before I even decided to record it, because it was so vulgar. You know, it just happened where I had an argument. Well, it wasn't really an argument. It was more like, you know, a friend of mine just decided to completely cut me out of her life very suddenly and for not much reason. And one day I was just, you know, cleaning up around the house, and it just, boom, it came into my head. And it was funny. You know? So, because you know how things are. Like, sometimes vulgar things can be funny, and I thought to myself, well, that's a fun song, but there's no way in hell I'm going to record that. And then when it was still stuck in my head, like a couple of months later, that's when I thought, oh, you know what? Why not, right? Because it's actually a pretty rockin' tune. But no, I didn't sit down and decide that, hey, I'm going to actually put pen to paper on this. It's more like it just created itself within like 10 minutes. I had everything written in my head, including the guitar solo and everything.
So how does it promote, as I read somewhere, being good to others?
Okay. So this is the thing about SOB. Because yeah, it's actually quite an angry song, right? But at its heart, what it is it's about being true to yourself. And sometimes, in order to be good to yourself, you have to tell other people to fuck off. You know, because unfortunately, there are times where you don't provoke someone being mean to you, and you don't provoke someone being disrespectful or mistreating you, and in order to have a spine and stand up for yourself, unfortunately, you do have to tell them, you know what, go stick it where the sun don't shine, and I'm just going to go and do my own thing. So,
right.
That's how that relates. And I mean, like I said, once again with SOB, I never set out to put someone else down. It was more a way of me overcoming that really negative situation and what I felt at the time, for sure. And even looking back on it, I still feel that way. What was an injustice that was done to me? It was my subconscious being able to overcome that by boosting myself up.
Okay. And so your next single, did you say similar to it?
It's along the same sort of lines, but it doesn't put anyone down.
Okay.
Right? It's another funny, hard-hitting rock song, but it's not nearly as vulgar, and it's not nearly as angry.
Okay.
I guess you could say it's more fun, you know? Although I think with SOB, did you see the video?
Yeah.
Okay. So with the video, because, you know, when you just hear the audio itself, it sounds pretty... It can sound pretty angry, but with the video, I think I did a good job of softening the impact and showing how it was more meant to be funny and enjoyable as opposed to angry and disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Okay. So should I send people to coolass.tv? Because you usually add in a URL, so bands would be like, you know, Facebook/band name or...
No, send them to coolass.tv. I mean, if you want, you could send them to my Facebook. But I've got all the links there and everything. You know, I've got all the links to my Facebook, my Instagram, my YouTube. So yeah, coolass.tv is just easier to remember, right?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So I guess finally, I just wanted to hear from you about what music does for you, artists. You've done acting and all that stuff. So what does music do for you?
Wow. In terms of how does it benefit my life?
Yeah, like an expression, like why do you want to continue with music? Why do you want to pursue it?
Well, I have always loved music. I think that you know, I mean, music has even been attached, it's been associated with my acting. I remember, you know, not only did I start out in musical theater, but even when I did the Paperboy, I went out and I bought a stereo system to put in my trailer. And I would sit in my trailer when we weren't shooting scenes, and I'd be listening to Queen, you know, like just rocking out to Brian May, doing his guitar solos. And that's where I was introduced to Pink Floyd, actually. Roxy, who was the makeup lady there, introduced me to Time by Pink Floyd. And I was like, oh man, that's cool, you know? But for me, music is, it's a way of expressing yourself, but it doesn't necessarily have to be taken so seriously. You can ingest music in so many different ways. You can have it on in the background to set the mood while you're having a conversation with someone, or you can completely dive into it and just immerse yourself in the entire experience. And that's what I love about music. It's not like film or television where you really have to constantly be paying attention. You know, you can sort of decide how much attention you want to put into it, but nonetheless, you'll enjoy it, whether you're completely immersed in it or whether you're just sort of letting it glaze over the surface, right? For me personally, it just makes me tap my toes and you know, give me a sense that life is worth living. You know? Excellent.
Okay, is there anything else about your music that you wanted to get out that I didn't touch upon?
It's not something that's to be taken too seriously. It's music. It's for enjoyment. It's you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, graffiti, muscle cars, good times, you know, spending time with friends, barbecues. That's kind of how I view my music career.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
I will
Okay.
do a review, which is probably a bonus in your case.
You know, yeah, fair enough. I mean, for traditional media, the song's not very much suited for radio play. You know, that's why, like, when I recorded that song, originally I wasn't going to record it at all. And because I knew there was no way it was going to get played on the radio. But like I said, after it had been stuck in my head for so long, and I thought to myself, there are so many different forms of media nowadays, you know, the internet being a big one.
Yeah.
Why not? Because I know that there are people out there who are going to enjoy it. And I'm so blessed because my fan base is extremely loyal.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. They're absolutely amazing. And you know, they understand that there's a sense of humor behind it, right? Nobody's out to put anyone else down.
Right.
That's a big thing that I like to emphasize, you know. But sometimes, like, you gotta put other people in their place in order to justify and to vindicate yourself, you know. Thank you so much.
Okay, talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Okay.